Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here on Shaman Durek, and it's an honor to be here with so many powerful and amazing souls that are changing the world one day at a time by expressing joy and love and healing, transformation and truth, authenticity, and divine principles that govern the understanding of what it means to lift yourself and lift another human being. We are to see the good in people. We are to remove ourselves from the duality that we hold within this field of good versus bad and really get into understanding things from a neutral standpoint. Now, I know it's very hard and challenging for a lot of people to step into that when you see so many polarized leaders in the world who are creating so much chaos and suffering and pain and so forth. And that's a big step spiritually to make, is to understand that there is a divine plan in action, even though you see so much suffering and pain and hate and turmoil and war and deception and all of these things that we see on the planet. So before we begin, I just want to start off with a very simple prayer. We just want to pray for all of you and for all of us and for everyone who is choosing to step into that alignment of transformation on the planet through the embodiment of sharing and showing what is possible for a human being to express, create, and to innovate through curiosity on planet Earth. So we're going to just go into that space. So I just call forth on Mother, Father, God, and Child God. I call forth on the divine Jesus Christ. I call forth on our divine Muhammad, and I call forth on the divine Mahatma. I call forth on the divine beings of light, the beautiful beings of light, the deities of light. I call forth on the Orishas, the angels of all levels of ascension of light, from the principalities to the dominions to the seraphims to every single angel that is out there that is supporting humanity in our soul's growth and our emotional and mental alignment. I also call forth the elemental kings and queens of each elemental that govern our elemental bodies, the food we eat, the air we breathe, the sun we take in, the fires that warm our hearts, the waters that nourish our bodies and that we partake of to release ourselves from stress and to bring more vitality. I call forth on the sacred trees, the drynad spirits, the undying spirits, the sliffs, the air spirits, and the salamander spirits, the fire spirits, all the gnomes and elves and fairies who create balance, and all of the muses that are continuing bringing creativity and all of these really brilliant ideas to planet Earth for us to experience what it feels like to be a creator in this embodiment, in a body made of the elemental energies. I also call forth and thank with great honor and devotion all the divine beings that are supporting us that we haven't even acknowledged yet in our existence, ones that are in this planet and ones that are not of this planet. We are grateful and thankful. And as we begin to mature and grow in our evolution, we begin to recognize your existence because we begin to look beyond the veils of disillusionment and go into the unknown to discover more and more spirits that are supporting us while being here on the planet. It's a great honor and a great honor to be of service and to gain all of the divine instruction, wisdom, support, love, healing, you name it, to be able to lift our brothers and sisters. I also want to thank every ancestor that has been supporting us behind the scenes. I also want to thank all of you for showing up every day for yourself, which means you're showing up for all of us. And you're creating this beautiful rippling effect that is continuing rippling out to the rest of the world, to all those who were asleep and those who are waking up and those who are still sleeping, knowing that when they do awake, there will be a family of love waiting for them to comfort them and to give them the guidance and support that they need to recognize and remember who they are. So as we are on this journey of erasing all things that made us self-betray ourselves, and the places where we were betrayed ourselves, and places where we didn't show up for ourselves, and places where we abandoned ourselves, to correct that imbalance and coming into the place where we do show up for ourselves. We do represent and acknowledge and embody and take accountability for any energies that do not support us on a level of high vibration that supports our entire being of having harmony, joy, peace, elation, bliss, prosperity, wealth, health, freedom, transformation, alchemy, and so much more magic that we've been calling in. I'm so grateful and thankful for the blessings of this atonement, of being able to lift my vibrational field, as well as all of you lifting your vibrational fields away from the lies, the deceptions, the confusions, the force, the expectations, the rules, and the pressures, and the punishments, and all the things that human beings have created as fiction and untruths, as if God would punish you or send you to hell, or any of these things that have been misassociated through malfunction in thinking and lack of knowledge and information, to be actually understanding the original teachings that have been given to us since the dawning of time, which is for us to be able to elevate love on the planet, and that love is the only thing that matters, and everything else is just an illusion created out of perception and belief. And so with that being said, I am Shaman Durek. I'm here to serve you, to hold the highest light for you, and to remember that we are divine beings of infinite potential, and we can do anything as long as we remember that we are doing it not just for ourselves, but we're doing it for each other. So, Ashe, Amala Ashe, Namaste, Ahoatakuase, and Mashallah, and Amin, Amen, and yes, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Well, someone said recently, someone said, who are you channeling? And I always find that very fascinating. But my vessel is a channel. We are all channeling. There is no special thing that we get into when we channel. When we operate from a field of love, we channel directly from the heart and flame of our Mother, Father, God, and Child God. When we are operating in thinking about, let's say, Buddha, we are channeling energy from Buddha. When we pray for Iran, absolutely. When we are operating in Hale Shitore, by the way, when we are channeling love, we bring forth love and its divine wisdom aspects into our being. So these are all aspects of divinity that we are bringing through. And this information and knowledge is always brought through any human being that opens himself up to that divine principle. When we are operating out of fear, lack, limitation, worry, scarcity, anger, hate, and all of these things, and we're not bringing the wisdom and knowledge to those things, then we channel lower dimensional beings. And those lower dimensional beings only want to keep sharing more of their hurt and pain that they're feeling, and they want other people to feel it as well. And I always say it's important for us to have other people feel love, joy, elation, bliss, possibility, prosperity, abundance, health, freedom, all of the things that are high vibrations. So we honor the divine principles of God's love in us, and we share it with one another for the sake of remembering. And that remembering is beyond anything and everything that could ever mean anything to us. I wake up every single day as a servant, but not a servant like a slave, but a servant to knowing that I get to serve my brothers and sisters, of bringing love and devotion and kindness and generosity and realness into life every day, every second. And I get an opportunity every single day to look at my triggers. I get every single day to look at the things that get under my skin and realize, like, why is it getting under my skin? Instead of getting reactive to it, right? In Quagala, sister, instead of getting reactive, it's about being able to bring a level of curiosity to things, like someone can cut you off or someone can be rude to you, but instead of you taking and creating a story or a narrative based on your perception, how about just be curious about where that person's at? They might be going through a lot of things that you don't even realize they're going through, and why they're acting the way they are, because maybe they don't have the wisdom or the knowledge or the know-how to not act that way, right? So I think it's important for us to understand, when it comes to these things, how to help my sister with a verbal abusive partner. So the only thing you can do to help your sister is to ask her why is she calling this energy it? Is she verbally abusing herself internally, and she's calling in a mate to show her what it looks like on the outside? Because that's how it usually works in relationships, is that we literally call in what we are actually doing to ourselves internally. And you always have to remember this when it comes to spirit. And this is something I tell people a lot, especially a lot of my students, my remembrance students, is that anything that that shows up in your life doesn't show up because it's trying to hurt you. It shows up to show you how to get back to you. It shows up to remind you to return home to yourself, to find out what it is that you're feeling or thinking inside that is actually being projected from your avatar body or your physical body, right, into the world, to call these people in to trigger you. Because triggers are important for our evolution. And a lot of times people get annoyed when they get frustrated or they get angry, but they don't realize that these are blessings in disguise. Like when a dark spirit comes into the room and tries to challenge me, right? Like for instance, like for the past 2 weeks, I've been having, falling asleep, and this one spirit keeps like hanging out by the door and then comes up really and tries to scare me. And I thought it was a bit scary at one point, and I pulled myself, into my body to deal with it. And then spirit was like, no, enjoy being vulnerable with this spirit in your face. And so I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to stay vulnerable. And I'm going to let this spirit like do whatever it feels like it needs to do and know that I'm always going to be okay. And so I did. And I just was like, okay, so you're in my face, you're making scary faces, you're putting on monster faces and everything. What else do you want to do? And so then it was like, you're not scared anymore. I'm like, no. And it's like, great. Then you've graduated. And then it just went away. Right. And there are some spirits in the world that actually do that to push your buttons, not because it's trying to hurt you, but it's actually trying to help you to learn how to evolve within yourself, how to learn how to be resilient within yourself, how to be capable of knowing that you can overcome anything within yourself. Right. And so there is a great awakening that takes place with not only spirits that are out of body, which means the ones that are in the invisible plane, right? But also ones that are in body, right? So some spirits in body, which are people on the planet Earth, right, that get under your skin, push your buttons, challenge you, want to try to create arguments with you, are all there for the sake of seeing how do you show up to yourself when in these situations, right? Now, someone calls you a name, right? Some people react and get hurt. And like, how could that person do that to me? That means you haven't completed. That means it's going to happen again and again. Why? Because you actually think something's being done to you because of someone else's reaction. Isn't that interesting how someone reacts and we actually think it's being done to us? Even because they're talking about us or saying something to us, we think it's being done to us. Instead of us realizing that if we are secure within the truth of who we are and what we represent and the fact that we love and acknowledge the greatness of our being, how can anything be done to you? Right? It's like they're only doing it to themselves. They're only revealing to us what is exactly they're feeling internally. They're only showing us what dimension they're in. Because again, many people are existing at different dimensions. And remember, those dimensions may not be dimensions of light. Some people are in dimensions where they're being tormented by spirits every single day. And they think they're just their negative thoughts. They don't realize that they're being hijacked by all of this low vibrational frequency, heavy density beings that live in these low dimensional realms that don't believe they deserve forgiveness and don't believe they can come home to the light. So they want everyone else to feel all the stuff that they're going through. Right. And like even today, I was in a session with a client today, and this spirit was like, this person's client was having resistance. And the spirit was, I was like, the spirit's in the way. I was like, no, 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 no. And the spirit was trying to have a debate with me. I was like, I don't debate. I'm a shaman. I don't debate. You're going to the light. That's where you're going. I don't care what you say. And you're going to stay in the light and you're not going to come out of the light because my law, which is the law of God or God's will, be done. I don't have time for this back and forth banter with a spirit. I'm sorry. No, you might want to do that with a novice, someone who's just starting out learning how to deal with the spirit world, but not me, not me. Sorry. No, Shaman Durek, don't play that. So I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Get out of my way. We don't play this. You don't get in my sessions and get in the way of what I'm doing with the person that I'm serving. So I'm sending you to the light. You're staying in the light. Let's move on. We're done. And then I say, how has it been in the light? Isn't it amazing that you see how the light has brought so much love in the short amount of time that you've been there? Like I get into it. I don't go into debating with beings in the lower dimensions. I don't. I don't. I don't care. You guys can do a, they can do song and dance, put on scary masks. They can take on characters from movies that I saw that were scary in the past when I was a kid. Do what you got to do, boo. Because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, it's my authority over theirs. And that's what you always have to remember. So when someone is yelling at you or saying something to you or being rude to you or being disrespectful, stop playing a victim. Stop going like, oh my God, how can they say that to me? Oh my God, I'm such a good person. We know you're a good person, but do you really know you're a good person? Because if you did know you were a good person, then you wouldn't let anyone make you think that you're not a good person. And secondly, if you thought if whatever someone is saying actually triggers you, it means that you have a weak spot. You got some weak spots that need to be brought into clarity with love and grace, right? And it's not to get upset with yourself, like, oh my, I always hear this from some of my clients. They always say this to me. Shaman Durek, I've already worked on that. Well, obviously you didn't because it's still there. So let's get out of the resume. Let's get out of like what I did and like why I should be further than I am. How about let's seek mastery over the ego, right? Because mastery over the ego is so much more sexier than someone telling me, like, I did that already and I don't understand why that's not gone. It's not gone because you haven't mastered it, boo. I'm sorry. You didn't sign up to go into like just getting a certificate of completion. You wanted to master it. You wanted to know the ins, ends, ands, buts about it so that you can also teach it, share it, and reveal it to other people. I mean, we have no time to just get a certificate. We want mastery in this lifetime, okay? Because the more mastery we have in this lifetime, the more we can create heaven and earth in this lifetime because we understand the ins and outs of what something is, right? But if you're getting triggered by like the president and you're getting triggered by what people are doing in the government and you're getting triggered by these things, then great. Excuse me, great. This is a fantastic opportunity for you. It's a wonderful opportunity for growth for you to be triggered because you're coming into an understanding of mastery. If you're tripping off of what someone is doing in the world and you think that the world is coming to an end or the world is going to get worse and worse and worse, then you obviously don't believe in Mother, Father, God. Could you actually think that the spirit world would go through all this trouble in awakening consciousness and giving you insight and opening up your abilities and all that just for it to have no purpose? Everything has a reason for being. It's just when that reason is for being. I see what people are doing in their polarized behaviors, but all of that is perfectly in alignment to where we need to shift on the planet. And I don't let those energies affect me because I'm not here to be affected by other people's shenanigans. You know, for instance, you might have family members that don't agree with you. You might have family members that love to bicker because for them, they love mental gymnastics. Honestly, I'm not a fan of mental gymnastics, but there are people who are. And honestly, if that's what they feel they need to do in order to enliven their spirits, that's fine, but it's not going to be with me. Okay. There are family members who might even like say things to you that you're not doing or you're not this and you're not that. You know what I always say to those family members? Thank you for sharing with me and having so much love for me and concern for me. Perhaps in the future, maybe you'll come in a more loving way about it, but I understand what you mean and I'm going to take into consideration what you said and I'm going to put it to thought. And then that's it. Let's move on. Let's go. Right? Because at the end of the day, when you start to debate these family members because you feel like they're not believing in you, they're not trusting in you, they see the good things you're doing, it's not for them to see the good things you're doing. It's not for them to see how far you've come. It's not for them to be able to give you or to congratulate you on your things. No, you need to be congratulating yourself. You need to be seeing the things that you're doing. You need to see you. That is how you come into self-actualization in this embodiment. That is how you begin to master the universal fields of intelligence in the body as a physical being. You're not going to do it by seeking everyone's approval around you. You're not going to do it by telling people all the things that you've accomplished and hoping that everyone just gives you the nice applause. You know, you should be applauding yourself every day. If you're not waking up every day and telling yourself what a powerful being and master you are, lit leader of legacy, and not just a lit leader of legacy, you are what we call the littest of the leaders of legacy. Okay. You are on another level of legacy. Okay. You are here as an example of the divine through you to demonstrate to your brothers and sisters what being authentic looks like, what love looks like, what prosperity looks like, what creativity looks like, what freedom of expression looks like, what movement looks like, right? That is what you're here to do. If you think you're here to get people's approval and validation, let me tell you, darlings, okay? I learned that lesson a long time ago. I always used to think, oh, I have to make sure that people understand me and get me as Shaman Durek and they really understand me and they believe in me and blah, 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 blah. And the universe is like, oh, really? Is that what your plan is? Well, let us make sure people write horrible things about you and spread lies about you and do all this stuff about you. And then let's see how you feel. And I was like, how can they? I'm such a good person. I love people so much. All I do is devote my life to people. How could they treat me this way? The question is, what Spirit said to me is, how could you treat yourself this way by believing in this nonsense? And why do you care what people have to say about you? Don't you know who you are? And if you don't, then you better spend more time getting to know who you are versus you worrying about what people think about you. And then I had to go even deeper and I had to look at this part of myself that wanted to be accepted and liked. And then Spirit's like, why do you want to be liked by people who don't even know what that means? Like, there are people who are existing in this world who will never understand what love is. Why would you try to force them to love you when they can't even understand how to love themselves? Wouldn't you rather like yourself, even if people don't like you? It's the same way I am with my friends. It's like when I take a group of my friends out to dinner, like the other day, I took a bunch of friends out to this beautiful, club, here in Oslo called Bar Bardot. And I had a VIP table and I was, buying everyone drinks and whatever it is that they wanted, and at the end of the night, I took them out to dinner and every friend was like, oh my God, you paid for drinks and you paid for dinner. I owe you. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. We're not playing that game. I do not play the game called, I do for you, you do for me. It's inauthentic. It's fake. It's faff. You remember what I told you faff is? Faff is fake as fuck, right? It's not real. It doesn't support me and my prosperity and my abundance. It doesn't support me in my act of giving because I don't give to you to receive from you. I receive from God. I receive from myself. I receive from the nature of my being. If you never give to me, it's not going to stop me from being a giver. I'm not a giver because you're a giver. I'm not a lover because you're a lover. I'm not a nice person because you're a nice person. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to match your vibration to be who I am. I am who I am. So if I take you out to dinner, don't you ever say to me, I will get you next time. No, just receive the offering and the gift and the blessing that shows up because that's coming directly from our Mother, Father, God through my vessel. Do you understand? And if you should ever feel like you want to give to me, or you should ever feel like you want to do something nice for me, do it without strings attached. Do it from clear intention, which is, what is the intention? To share God's love. That's it. I don't want to hear, oh my God, you've given me so much, so I decided to buy this for you. I don't want it. Because it's not clear intention. It's not directly from God. It's coming from your guilt of the fact that I give a lot of who I am. That is me. If you want to be me, do it from realness. Don't do it from fakeness. And that's the thing we have, the situation in life as human beings are running through life trying to people please people. What are you people pleasing people for? What are you going to get from them? What are you going to get? Someone liking you? You should like you. Why do you need someone else's like? God likes you already. The angels like you. The Rishas like you. The divine beings like you. Elementals like you. I mean, nature likes you. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, you got spirit guides. You got ancestors who went to heaven and finally got awakened and like you. I mean, today I was in session. I was talking to this person's grandparent and they were so critical and so judgmental when they were living. And when they got to the other side, they realized how wrong they are. That's okay. I don't have time. I didn't have time with my grandfather. My grandfather was this huge minister and preacher. I don't have time to convince you about God's love and the truth about what's really going on and that the Bible was manipulated and all these different things. No, if you want to learn about Jesus's real words, go learn Aramaic. Stop preaching to me from the King James version or any other version that was created and manipulated by the churches to create some form of hierarchy. No, go to the original teachings of Aramaic language, read Aramaic language, or at least learn it. There's great teachers out there who teach you to speak Aramaic. And then you can read exactly what Jesus said. And when you do, come back to me and tell me how completely wrong that there are other things that have been manipulated are. Because love has always been the principle. Love has always been the principle. It will always be the principle. I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you're Buddhist. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care whatever you are. Love has always been the principle. If anything else got distorted in the download, that's on the person who distorted it and sent it out like rippling waves to people. And if people couldn't understand the difference that love is the truth and everything else is an illusion, then you are literally far behind in your evolution, that you are still believing in the lies and of deception that make you self-betray yourself. First off and foremost, I don't know if you catch the video that I put up today, and if you did, please comment on it. And also just wanted to let you guys all know, please comment on the things that I put up. You know, I do a lot of energy in putting that up there. I'd love to hear what you say. I read everyone's comments. So if you got something to say and you want to share it with the world, write it. You know, no one's going to just mind read you. I mean, we could, but do we really want to? I don't think so. So the thing is that at the end of the day, when we operate in the awareness that love is the only truth and everything else is an illusion. So you ask yourself this question, right? If you get triggered, right, and you're still angry, right, then you're not getting the truth. But if you get triggered and you go, wow, thank you for triggering. Like I was literally at a friend's house. Okay. This was about 2 weeks ago. And the husband was triggering the wife, who's a friend of mine. And she's like, oh, I'm so triggered. He's pissing me off. And I was like, you should go in the room right now and tell him how thankful you are for that. She's like, what? I'm like, go in the room and thank him for triggering you. Thank him for pissing you the hell off. Thank him for being the most amazing man in your life, to push every single button of your vulnerability to piss you the heck off so that you can see where you need to grow. And love yourself and stop betraying yourself and stop making excuses for things in life instead of living in your authenticity and your level of atonement, which is here for the sake of you recognizing how amazing and powerful and gifted you are. She's like, oh my God, you're so right. He's triggering me because I chose him as a partner to wake me up. Exactly. And the same thing's happening to him. So what you both need to do, instead of you guys sitting there acting like having these little bickering and arguments, which is just a bunch of babies screaming at each other for the fact that they got the greatest gift ever, which was to get triggered, thank each other. I thank my wife every time she triggers me. I'm like, oh my God, babe, you got me good. You called me out. You got me, baby. You got me. Let's go, baby. Let's go. That's what we're about. That's why I married you. I didn't marry you so you could be a yes person. I married you so you can put the fire under my bum. I married you so you can tell me where I'm not doing the right things, where I'm not thinking the right way. And trust me, if there's anything you want to know about women, I'll tell you this. Women see imbalance and they are meant to correct imbalance. Men, we operate from the idea of wanting to fix things and create things, but we need the wisdom of why there's an imbalance and what is actually imbalance. When we actually come together where the masculine listens to the wisdom of the feminine, the masculine gains insight in bigger ways. I can't begin to tell you. Like, I have evolved so much just by being in this 8-year relationship with my wife, who was once my girlfriend, right? Who I married. For that 8 years of us being together, literally, I have made quantum leaps in my spiritual evolution, my mental evolution, my emotional evolution, and just even the way I operate in my physical presence with myself. Like, the way I drink tea has so much more reverence than when I used to just drink tea and down it and get out the door and run around going out there and what I used to believe saving the world. Ain't nobody here trying to save nobody. Trying to save no worlds. Okay? Saving worlds, really? I'm not Superman. Do I look like I'm Spider-Man? I definitely ain't no Batman. No. I'm a black man. That's it. I ain't Superman. I ain't Spider-Man. I'm a black man. And I'm not here trying to save no worlds. Because why? Because if I'm sitting here looking at saving worlds, then I'm looking at the world as being broken. And I don't see the world being broken. I see the world being restored. And sometimes restoration requires a lot of triggering, a lot of uncomfortableness, a lot of things that piss people off, a lot of things that get under people's skin. You know why? Because the way that we change sometimes comes through pain, comes through fear, comes through getting irritated, annoyed, and agitated when we realize that we have to stop betraying ourselves and we start setting personal boundaries, not boundaries for individuals, but boundaries for ourselves, right? And we get into true restoration. That's what we're going through on planet Earth. Okay. There's no other way around it. I don't understand why people actually think they're going to go out there and save some lives. Like, you're not here to save nobody's life. The only person who can save life is the person who's going through their life. They have their own guides, their own team, their own angels, and whatever. And every time you interfere, the angels are like, do you not believe in our ability to support this person from where they are in their evolution? Or do you think you know better than us? The gall of it all. So the thing is that when I operate, I always operate from a place of like, is it important? Is it necessary for me to step into this situation? And I ask people, do you, like when I'm out with friends and they say something, I'm like, would you like to hear my thoughts on it or my wisdom? Or do you want to hear what spirit is saying? And they go, yes. And I go, okay, I'm going to share it with you. But no, you're not getting unsolicited information. The only time you're going to get some information from me is if you're coming on my live. When you come on my live, you're basically saying, yes, I want to hear what you have to say. And thank you. I appreciate that. It's a pleasure to serve you. I love you. I see your power. And I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here like I'm some powerful guru, because I do not believe in that at all. I am just a man with a big heart that loves my brothers and sisters and loves my family on planet Earth, both in flesh and out of flesh. And I'm happy to be here to support us in seeing our power, because you deserve to have your heaven on earth. And I don't give a freaking flying flam fucking fluky that anyone has to say to you about the fact that you shouldn't have your life be the most amazing life ever. And if anyone's got something to say about it, they can come up on my porch and talk to me, and I will give it to them straight. Because you know me, I don't hold back. I got nothing to hide. I'm here to tell you just what I feel. If you got an issue with it, let's go. Get triggered. Because I love triggering people. Ain't nothing like a trigger to start the day. Ain't nothing like making people shake in their boots, get triggered. People can flip some tables, break some windows. Do what you got to do, boo. Because it has nothing to do with me. It's got to do with everyone else, but not me. And that's what you have to think. When people get annoyed about you, people say something about you, someone starts acting so weird, like people start trying to blame you for their own emotional intelligence. Please, people be like, oh, you hurt me. Be like, okay. From my actions, it was not like I'm sitting there thinking like, I can't wait to hurt you. No, I'm just being me. And if just being me hurt you, tell me what hurt you. And then I say, okay, I see that that's caused you pain. It was never my intention to cause you pain. All I'm here to do is to love you and see you at your highest place. If you can't recognize that, and you have a hard time hearing truth, then you're only hurting yourself because you don't want to hear truth. You're getting triggered. Look at your triggers and thank me for it later. Okay? Call me up later. Not too late when I'm sleeping, but call me up and let me know how grateful you are for the fact that I triggered you. Because that literally is going to help you wake up. Is it a Scorpio thing to trigger people? And it could be a Scorpio thing. I like to sting people. I do. I love stinging people. It's great for me because my sting is medicine. But again, it could be a Scorpio thing, or it could just be a real thing. It could be an authentic thing. Like, we're all supposed to be triggering. I mean, we're getting triggered right now by the government. People are, not I, but some people are. Like, sometimes I go to dinner table, all I hear about is Trump, 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 or this person, this person, this person, or, Putin, 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 Putin. I'm just like, you guys, with all that energy that you have to talk about all these other people who you don't even know, why don't you focus that energy on some powerful, amazing, creative, next innovative creativity that wants to scream from your being into this world and become something real? I mean, that's where I focus on, because you're not going to change anything that doesn't need to be changed, that the universe doesn't want put into motion, because you never even had a conversation with the spirits and even asked why these things are happening. I have, but you haven't. And that's just because you're so busy reacting instead of asking. getting curious. Hey, spirit guys, why is this happening? And what's the benefit of it? And why? Because if it's something happening, it's also happening for a reason, right? And human beings need to get triggered. Just so you know, there's a lot of human beings that come to Earth to go through like really cataclysmic, horrible things as an example, because we're eternal beings. So just to like come to Earth and be like, I'm in heaven, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to go to Earth and die in a bomb. You know, like I know it's hard to hear that. And people like go like, oh my God, is he crazy? But yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just real. Um, that there are beings who come from heaven who are like, yeah, I'm going to go to Earth and die in a bomb because that's what I need to express to people so they can get triggered from my death. And then that would open up so much more healing and transformation on the planet. I mean, if that's what has to happen, there are beings who sign up for that. I'm sorry to tell you, I've signed up for that in many lifetimes. Like in many other lifetimes, I died in a plague. I went through all kinds of things. It wasn't like I was like, oh, yeah, I can't believe I died in a plague. Like when you're in the human experience, you're like, oh, that sucks. But when you're in, before you choose to come here, you're like, oh, yeah, I get to die in a plague. You know, it's a very different type of thing that happens. It's all based on perception. And if you actually paid attention to most of the suffering that you've gone through in life, it's all based on your perception of what you think you've experienced or what you think you're experiencing or what you think is really going on. It's like that feeling like when you walk into a club and you see a bunch of people talking and, you know, and I used to always be like, oh, they're talking really bad because they're looking at me. They're talking about me and whatnot. And then I'm dancing and partying and whatever. And I'm by the DJ booth. And then I hang out with this person who's like friends with those people. And then I was like, yeah, they were talking bad about me. She was like, no, I was over there. They were talking like not even about you. What? Why they kept looking at me? They said, "Oh, they loved your outfit. They thought your outfit was really cool." Oh, oh, and then you realize you get this big awakening. It's like, woohoo! I'm actually the fool in this story because I'm actually creating a narrative and a storyline and emotional reaction. Mind you, every time you think some kind of fearful or emotional thought, your body releases chemicals to your system, and it takes about 90 seconds for those chemicals to release out of like move through your system. So if you could just take 90 seconds of like literally shifting your consciousness, you will like get out of that emotional state. But what happens is the reason why people stay in that emotional state is they keep building more stories on stories on stories. So again, most human suffering that we go through interpersonally, right, is because of your narratives you build, your fictional stories you build, your assumptions, your parts of you that feel like it already feels bad, so it needs to find something to match it in the outside world. I mean, you know, I mean, I remember when I was a young kid, I used to always be bullied at school, right? And then I just assumed that I was always gonna get bullied. So anytime someone said anything to me, I was already like on guard and ready thinking I was gonna get bullied from them. And I would be like, what did you say? And I started getting really aggressive and people were like, no, I just said this. And I was like, okay. Cause I thought you said something else. They're like, no, I didn't say that. But it was like my brain was trying to find a representation of what was going on inside and representing it in the physical world. And that's what we do. So like if you're treating yourself like a bunch of caca and you're telling yourself like, oh God, you're so not this and you should be doing this and you're not good at that, that's considered what we call abuse, right? Because you're not lifting yourself and you're definitely not acknowledging yourself and you're not telling yourself how amazing you are. And as Danny says here, self-fulfilling prophecy, exactly. And so because you're not doing any of those things internally, you have to create someone to show you what you're doing to yourself on the outside. And that's why you end up attracting an abusive relationship or a friend who's constantly putting you down or challenging your truth. Or you might have a family member telling you that you're not good enough. Whatever. It's all you anyway. You're the one projecting it from the inside to this world, and you are using the part of your being and your perception to make your reality fit so that it makes sense to you. You understand? So think if you spend more time seeing yourself as a positive, powerful, prosperous, loving, nurturing. Things are always nurturing, positive, powerful, prosperous to you. Things always come to you beautifully. People are always offering you opportunities and things like that. And you feel like you deserve all the opportunities, all the positive energy, all the good stuff. And that's your real truth inside. Like that's your truth. That's like your truth of truth of truth. That's like you speaking the true. Watch what will do in your life. You will see magic in your life. You will see amazing things happen in your life. That's how I got to my wife. kept saying to myself, you know what? I deserve to have someone who is like high level, spiritual, transparent, just powerful beyond belief. At first, I thought it was going to be like a celebrity of some sort. Like I was going to be with some, because I would meet these women celebrities all the time and they were always flirting with me. And I thought maybe it'll be them. Then I thought maybe it'll be a man. Who knows? Maybe it'll be some kind of man that I get along with and we end up falling in love. I don't know. I'm open to everything. I'm a free spirit. But at the same time, I kept feeling that inside, and then boom, there she was. She just walked right in. Why? Because she already walked in inside of me, in my consciousness, in my spirit, in my being. That's why she showed up in the physical, because my spiritual was like, I got to find a physical representation of this thing that you keep speaking about, what you keep feeling into. And boom, there it was. And so this is when we talk the true, when we get into that space, right? You speak the true. You understand that the true, right, will bring to you everything that is in itself ready to be brought forth in this life as a representation of what's going on inside. So, you know, that's how it goes. That is how it goes. Do, 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 do. I don't know why I did that part, but I felt like it was necessary. I was like, I really liked it. Anyway, let's move forward. Who wants to go live with me? Tell me now. Tell me now. Don't tell me now. Tell me now. Don't waste your time putting yourself on that video thing because I never really check in, and every time I do, it messes up my live. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm actually just literally going straight in. Is that a yes? Okay, so you want to go live, baby. Let's go live. Go live with Nikki. Let's go. Oh, she declined. Okay, she declined. Now I know I have the I have the best loves in my life. Oh, yes, of course. Okay, we're gonna go live with Pozawan Khan. Boom, boom. Let's go live. Let's go live.
Oh, hello.
Hello, my love.
How are you? Well, I know how you are. There you go.
Okay, perfect. So how can I support you, my darling?
Well, is it possible to go through, like, just look at my system and see what needs to go, basically?
Which
That's what
system? Because you don't have just one system. You have a physical system, an emotional system, a mental system, and a spiritual system.
emotional,
Emotion.
emotional.
I like to talk to the part of our beloved's emotional part of her being that is aware of what emotions need to go. What emotion needs to been holding that she's been holding on to? It said guilt.
Oh, interesting.
What is the guilt that she's holding on to? They said you feel responsible for other people's energies that were unfulfilled.
Unfulfilled in what sense?
Meaning that there were people that you felt responsible for certain energies that you felt that you weren't able to see through or complete. And so therefore there's an internal guilt inside of you, feeling like you have to do something or that you have to do something more instead of just allowing yourself to let people be in the space that they're in.
Okay. So technically fixing.
Fixing is guilt ridden, like you have no idea.
Oh gosh. I really want to get rid of it.
Because let me explain, my darling. Fixing is an idea that something is broken that you feel you have to fix in order to feel comfortable internally. instead of acknowledging that there is a power within the person and within the spirits that support that person that is there to support them, and you asking, is it in your highest good to actually intervene at this level in their evolution? A lot of times people don't ask that. They operate only from guilt, which is, I have to do this. This is what I should be doing. And they create all these narratives about why and how they should be doing something.
Mm-hmm. Is it coming back to the internal, I have to fix myself? And
That's a lie in a comment up. Like, let's find out. Okay. I'd like to talk to the part of our beloved that understands her belief systems and her structures of belief systems as well as her perception on things. Based on what you heard her say, is that true in herself? No, it's not. It's about your empathic energy feeling responsible for other people's emotional inauthority. It means that your empathic energy is generating a response to you that their energy is not in harmony or balance. And so, therefore, there's a part of you that feels like sorry for the person or sad for the person, or that you want to save the person. And so therefore you take on their aura, their energy, and their field of what they are doing, thinking that you're supposed to work it out through your body and through your energy. And that causes a lot of problems. It actually holds you back and makes you angry inside, is what they're saying.
yes, it does make me angry very much though. Yes. Feel it
And
in my stomach.
the level of anger is what we call cycles of anger. So it's like you create obstacles to make you angry versus you just expressing the anger all out and releasing it completely from your body. So it's not creating inflammation and stuff in your back, which is really the core energies where you store a lot of your stuff. It's your upper neck all the way down to your lower lumbar. And the core response of that would be being exhausted, having anxiety, and feeling like you're not doing enough.
Yeah, constantly feeling like I'm not doing enough. Constantly.
Cause and effect is annoyance with the people, disappointment, frustration, looking and judging people for their inability to be at a level of consciousness that you think they should be at.
Only because I choose to pick up their energies and put it through my system.
Correct.
Um,
Which it doesn't.
wh-
And there's spirits that are talking to me right now are telling me it doesn't belong to her, and the only reason why she takes it in is because she feels that that is making reclaims more of her truth of being a healer and a person who's here to create transformation. But being a healer does not mean taking on other people's karma and other people's energy into your field. It means stepping in and recognizing when it's necessary for you to step in and when it's actually necessary for you to back off.
oh, okay. How do I learn to distinguish those two? Because
Well, it's quite simple.
I don't think I get it. It's like the difference. I mean, it,
Words- I think those words are actually disempowering you. Those words don't actually support what is true and real. So I would rather you use the words, I'm coming clear with what it feels like. Instead of saying if the worst thing we can say in life is I don't know, or I'm confused, or any of these things, because those energies then shape your reality immediately, because there are spirits that are here to give you the truth of the way you want to see the world, to make you right about what you see, right? And
well, I definitely want to understand it and learn it and embody it and use it.
embodiment means that you are aware that you have made an elective choice to believe in what you are doing. That's what an embodiment is. It means you believe in it. So like, let me give you an example. Like, there's a time where I used to get affected by what the press would write about me and people would say about me on like YouTube and news things and things like across the world, right? And then spirit came to me and said, the only reason why you're suffering from that is because you're believing in the haters instead of believing in the lovers. And so the I started believing in the lovers and taking my belief off the haters and believing only in the lovers, I felt the lovers' energy. But when I believed in the haters, I embodied the haters' energy, right? So embodiment is what you take in energetically as truth based on a belief of yours. So if you believe that you are coming into true attunement to what this is and what it feels like, then you will embody that. But if you say a word and you say a statement and you believe in that statement, then you will embody that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Every word I say is like a spell, basically.
It's not like a spell, and even
It is a spell.
it is a spell.
Yeah. So in this case, I say I am clearer in understanding where
And
I need to back off.
add a verb in there. I am getting clearer, not I am
I am
getting clearer,
I'm getting clearer.
which is more truthful and honest. I am getting clearer of what it feels like to betray myself through the act of guilt.
Ooh. I'm getting clearer. Can you repeat that? Can
I'm getting
I'm,
clear what it feels like to betray myself in the act of guilt.
I'm getting clearer in um oh my
What it
God.
feels like
What it feels like
to
in
betray myself in the act
to
of guilt.
to betray myself in the act of guilt. Ooh. I'm getting
And
clearer.
say, I have chosen guilt
I've chosen guilt
as a punishment
as a punishment
for not doing enough.
for not doing enough.
And I acknowledge the part of my being
And I acknowledge the part of my being
that is sad
that is sad
for being punished
for being punished
by me.
by me.
And that's how we get into true accountability with ourselves. Because you're acknowledging the part of your being that is sad from the behavior of yours, out of your self-betrayal for creating guilt, which is a form of punishment for something you feel you should have done or should be doing instead of enjoying your freedom.
To create. Freedom as a creator, you mean?
Freedom to create, to explore, and to be curious about what things you can do while being on planet Earth.
Mm. Instead, I just go into like the guilt
I
state.
can't those things. I can't enjoy it. I can't fully embody it. I can't fully put my energy into it when there's all this suffering going on. That I could never be Shaman Durek if I was focused on human suffering.
No.
You can even say out loud, body, show me what it feels like. Go ahead.
Body, show me what it feels like.
Show me what it, sorry, change it. Show me what it would feel like
Show me what it would feel like
to be lifted above the Maya of suffering
to be lifted above the mire of suffering
into a place of love and safety.
into, into the place of love and safety.
And you see how that feels?
It feels nice in the chest here.
Yeah. Because the heaviness on your heart and the heaviness on your chest, when you say weighing down on your chest, is the heart pain that you've created with these false beliefs and false fictionary stories that you're not good enough, smart enough, capable enough, or whatever, if you're not running around trying to save this world.
Yeah. Mm. Okay.
The dynamic interlinking of that always goes back to the mother energy.
What do you mean by mother energy?
That means however you experienced your mother from the time you were in the womb to where you are now, these energies of guilt have stemmed from that relationship. So it could be how you viewed your mother, what you felt from your mother, and what you felt you needed to save out of your mother.
Or every time I think about it, I just get angry.
That's because you let the anger go, because you have not brought yourself to acknowledge the part of your being that's angry and its valid properties of experiencing anger as a sense. Think of anger like this. Think of anger as an opportunity to come into power. Okay. Anger helps you to confront your dark side. And a lot of people play this game called Love and Light on planet Earth, which just annoys me. Bleh, right? Human beings actually think that they have to be all light, but you're not supposed to be all light. You're supposed to be a balance of darkness, a balance of light, and the light is supposed to educate the darkness to be in sync with one another. That means that me getting angry teaches me how to not put up with people's bullshit,
Mm.
right? Anger teaches me how to start honoring my own boundaries. Anger teaches me how to stand up in my power. Anger teaches me how to not let people take advantage of me and my body. Anger teaches me what I like and what I don't like. And by knowing what I don't like, it helps me to create more of what I like. But when
So,
anger wrong for its existence, you stuff it down in your being and you limit the possibility of that anger transforming into higher wisdom, higher resilience, higher protection, higher love of honesty and truth for your being to be happy.
so I welcome the anger in.
You have to acknowledge it. So first thing you want to say is anger. I just want to let you know I acknowledge your existence.
Anger, I just want, um, anger, I just want you. Okay. Anger, I just want to acknowledge your existence.
And isn't it great that I'm acknowledging your existence finally instead of abandoning you or neglecting you?
Isn't it great that I'm finally acknowledging your existence instead of ignoring or abandoning you? Yeah, it's like still feel it in the throat and like on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like on my face. I can feel it on my face. It's weird.
Okay, I'm not gonna call it weird. We're not gonna do that. But weird means you're accepting some kind of judgment. What you're gonna call it is just nothing. You're gonna acknowledge what it is. So you say, I acknowledge the sensations that the things my body is releasing do this acknowledgement.
I acknowledge the sensations that my body's releasing through this acknowledgement.
Exactly. That's it. We don't need analyzations. We don't need you going in and trying to diagnose whatever it is. This one thing spirit cannot tolerate is when human beings create their own diagnosis without asking them what exactly it is.
It sounds a
A veil being,
like a mask,
yeah,
maybe.
that's
Hmm.
exactly right.
Okay. So I have to acknowledge my anger more. So whenever I feel it comes up, I acknowledge it.
You simply say, I acknowledge you anger and what you need to express. Please express it. And you might need to vent it out. Like I'll give you an example. Sometimes my wife will have a very tough day and I can see it in her energy. So the first thing I do is go, hey, babe, do you want to vent all of this anger out so that we can transmute it? And then she does. And then she feels so much better after. And then I
So I
put my
have to.
arms is don't you feel great? How do you feel? I love you. I'm so glad you got that out. right? It's like, and the same thing she does to me. Like when I need to cry, she'll be like, babe, I'm here right now. Like crawl into my arms. I'm going to hold you and just, I'm here to hold space for you to cry.
It's
Right.
interesting because
And we go back to in our childhood is that we didn't have space held for us for our emotional intelligence to develop itself through certain feelings and expressions. And so we start building all of these kind of weird taboo ways of not allowing ourselves to express in normal life because we are scared that that might be too much for people to handle or it might be too much for us to handle, or we think, oh, we have to be strong, we can't let ourselves feel that, and all of these different things are limiting us from our evolution because those expressions build our emotional intelligence and how we perceive the world around us.
yeah, because I'm repeatedly being told about a fear of losing self-control. Like,
Uh, find out. Spirit, is there an aspect of her being that has a fear of losing self-control? Spirit says your self-control is an idea of intelligence versus an idea of emotion. So the intelligent aspect of how you want to see yourself versus you building relationships with yourself.
through acknowledging my emotions for what
Yeah.
they are.
Or start acknowledging your guides, acknowledge the spirits that are there to support you to release, acknowledge when something triggers you and how wonderful it is to be triggered, acknowledge all of these different things that are helping you to evolve. Nothing is showing up in your life for the purpose of making you suffer. It's all there to get you to evolve, to stop self betraying yourself, to see yourself, to acknowledge yourself, to have a relationship with yourself.
Mhm.
Like I had a woman the other day was in session when she wanted to, and she was so disconnected. She was having so much pain in her life because she was pushing and running away from the part of her being that is psychic. And we had to go in and acknowledge her psychic powers, acknowledge herself as a witch. And we did. And it opened up all this energy for her that ended up pouring into her son. And like, then her son started opening his powers. But the more we self betray ourselves, the more we suppress aspects of our multidimensional being, the more we suffer.
I feel like the psychic part resonates.
I'm sorry,
I feel like the psychic part resonates.
right? I'm that resonates.
Yeah, yeah. So
I can
by
talk to the part of her being that is already psychic and living in her truth as a psychic. What is the thing that she's doing that's limiting her from becoming you? They said you're limiting it through through the idea of perfection and wanting to be perfect, and to meet the ideas of what you think someone would feel comfortable with in you being perfect. Why is she doing that? Because she doesn't want to disappoint someone or put them on the wrong path. So she doesn't trust the information that she's getting. That's what they said. And what
so
did you do, the part of her being that is already psychic and living out its psychic truth? What did you do in order to overcome that? I let go of being right and chose to be wrong, and my wrong ended up becoming right.
so instead of choosing what I think is right,
So let me explain to you something. When I'm reading people psychically, right?
yeah.
I'm literally making shit up.
Yes.
Now, is it really that I'm making it up? No, I'm an
No.
being that has no freaking clue if I'm right or wrong. Just say shit that's coming out of its mouth, right? And through that, I end up being right. But when I'm trying to do something like I want to get the right answer and I'm trying to make sure that the client doesn't think I'm a fake or a phony or I'm a loser or I'm a this, I'm a that, that's when I'm actually not reading them. That's when I'm performing. And that's not where psychic energy lives. Psychic energy, spiritual energy, healing energy lives in the place where you surrender to the truth that seems untrue, but it is true.
It's not true, but it's true. Okay. Yeah. So
Most uncomfortableness, right? The place where you feel vulnerable at the most, that's where it lives. Like for us,
fascinating.
and he told me he had a stomach ache. I put my fingers on his stomach. And I said, "You need to go to the hospital right now. You have stage 4 cancer." It was like boom, 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 boom. Now, did I want to say that to him? No. Does it feel comfortable to say that to him? What if I'm wrong? What if he finds out that I'm wrong? And then he's going to tell everyone I'm a big loser, I'm a liar, I'm a fake, I'm a phony. But you know what? I have to do what's wrong in order to be right.
True. It's fascinating because it's every time I hear word vulnerable, I'm like,
But you better do the opposite. Instead of doing like this, you better do like this.
I'm like, so sorry, what the
Don't words like every time I hear, because you're building a narrative. Again, you're putting your belief on what you're saying. Every time I hear, say in the past when I heard. So you're
in the
asking
past when I heard.
asked, yes. Not every time I hear, because you have to understand your subconscious mind and your spirit do not understand these words that you speak. They take it what you say. If I say every time, they hear every time, which is a code frequency of every time. That means every time. So that means from now on until all eternity. So if I say in the past, when I did this, this would happen. But now, because I become more enlightened and aware and open to the powers that live in me, I now experience this. Now you're creating a new program. You're opening up new synapses. You're creating a new fundamental synthesis within your system. And that gives your body an opportunity, both your spirit and your spirit guides, to be able to create new opportunities for you because you're opening the door to possibility. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so if I say in the past when I used to hear a vulnerability, I would act in a certain way. However, now I choose
No, no, no. Now, because you have to explain why you're able to do this. So now, because I have
because
enlightenment and because I'm opening my heart or because I'm listening more to spirit, blah, 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 blah.
because because I'm listening to spirit, I can be more vulnerable or
I
vulnerable.
I have learned to be more vulnerable.
I have learned to be more vulnerable. And
Yeah.
vulnerable is more open, correct? It's not about weakness, it's being about open.
Vulnerability is being open and available for instruction from the divine.
So it's surrendering because, yes, surrendering. Not, it's got nothing to do with weakness and like, um,
It's letting go of the narrative you have of being spiritual and what you think a spiritual person's supposed to look like. There is no rule to what a spiritual person's supposed to look like.
ah. Make it up as you go along.
Once I was at a conference and someone said to me, "Well, you're not really a shaman, Durek, because you like Gucci." I'm like, "Your point? You think my powers and my devotion to the divine and to humanity is diminished because and I like Gucci? You are completely you have no clue what it means to create heaven on earth."
Okay. So, so I have to be more vulnerable in order to talk to
You don't
spirit.
have to be anything. Again, these are your choices. You can choose to be more vulnerable and experience an expanded life experience, or you can choose to close down and choose not to.
I choose the first option.
In the word I have to become as if it's like this thing you have to do. You don't have to brush your teeth, but you do it because you want clean teeth so you don't have cavities. You don't have to meditate, but you choose to meditate so you can calm, clear your mind and get more in contact with you. You don't have to do yoga, but you choose to do yoga because you want to be more flexible in your body and have great cardiovascular system and have your joints and everything massaged and have your synovial fluids constantly moving throughout your body, to open up the synovial areas of your body. You don't choose to be peaceful. You choose to be peaceful because you rather have peace than have drama in your life. You choose people who are open and expressive and beautiful and who love themselves because you want to surround yourself with people who have high vibration so you can have conversations about everything and grow. These are choices, nothing forced upon you.
Yes, because I'm a free being.
Yeah, you have free will. So spirit's like, you don't have to do anything. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Don't waste your time convincing yourself to do something when you don't really want to do it. Wait till you really want to do it. Wait till you're really ready to have a good life. Wait till you're ready to really have money in your pocket. Wait till you're ready to really have all the things that bring your heaven on earth perspective, into truth, into reality, into fruition.
Is it worth for me to look into any other aspects apart
Uh,
from the emotional?
I think it's good right now with what we shared with you. And also, I need to get to some other people. But I love you and look forward to seeing you once again.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my darling.
Uh, press, do a press, what do I press?
A little X in the corner. It's a pleasure to serve you, my darling. Okay, who wants to go live next? Let's see. Let's say. Okay, let's see. Okay. So the next one who said yes, they wanted to go live was, I think it was, what was it? Coonbug?
It's Sugbug.
It, what is it called?
Sugbug.
Sudbug. Okay,
Yes.
let's. How can I support you?
Hi, so better. Oh my god, I literally asked my intuition today. I was like, is he gonna pick me? And I had a good feeling about it, and it was right. Oh my god. I just feel more confident about my intuition now.
You should be confident about your intuition. Let's see what your intuition has to say. I like to talk to our beloved's intuition. What do you feel about her connection with you? Uh-huh. So your intuition says you spend more time feeling and feeling and feeling and feeling and feeling. It's going to get stronger and stronger.
Okay, that's so good because I feel like that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So, oh my god. But another thing, what I feel about my intuition is I feel like I get a lot of like yes or no answers, but I really want to.
Okay, so you yes or no answers because you're not believing that spirit has the ability to communicate to you just like a human being does.
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. And I keep telling myself, oh, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
One second. I like to talk to the part of our beloved who is only getting yes or no answer, giving yes or no answers. Why are you only giving yes or no answers? It says because you don't take the time to listen to everything they have to say. I see. And why isn't she listening to everything you have to say? She interrupts us and she doesn't let us communicate thoroughly on everything that needs to be said because she's bouncing around all the time with with trying to control everything instead of letting us bring it through. What I like to speak to the part of our beloved who likes to control. Why are you controlling? It said, because I'm afraid that I'm gonna connect to something that I don't want to connect to, and I'm still scared of the unknown.
Yup, that,
What?
oh my God, spot
What's
on.
why I like to talk to the part of her being that's scared of the unknown. Why are you afraid of the unknown? I said because of the spirit that tormented you when you were young.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is, oh my God, even recent, well, not months ago, I remember I got, when I was, just desperate for answers instead of like looking within. I was looking through outside sources like pendulums and tarot cards and stuff.
Hold on.
And yeah.
Oh, 1 second. A spirit just spoke.
Mhm.
Uh, It said she was upset that I held her down.
Yeah. So yeah. So I really got scared ever since then. I was like, now whenever I, use those sources or whatever, I'm like, am I connecting to a bad spirit now? Like, is it like a negative spirit, stuff like that? And like also wanting to like,
Okay,
um, yeah,
let's look at something for a second. What if you are connecting to a bad spirit? Why is that scary?
because like,
Get rid of the word bad. Let's just say a spirit that hasn't found its way back home to the light.
more so, I think it's because I'm afraid that it's going to make me believe things that aren't true,
But
like,
I would believe. Okay, okay.
yeah, or not make me actually.
You so let's just what you said. Go with that. Sorry, sorry. Nice try.
Oh no.
Okay, okay. So you think something can make you believe something that goes against something that you would not want to believe in. How can someone make someone believe something that they don't already want to believe in?
That's so true. Honestly,
Let-
I literally.
Let's say you have a group of friends and they talk bad about you to someone and that person believes what they say. Isn't that mean that that person already wanted to believe those things about you?
Yeah, and even though I try to tell myself, "Oh, I didn't want to believe that. I don't think that. No, 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 no."
But what if you decide to go ahead and think that and believe and just acknowledge that you think that and then talk to the part of yourself that thinks that?
Yeah, I think it's because I'm afraid to be like deemed as like what I deem as a bad person.
Oh, person. Let's take a look at that. I like to talk to the part of her being that thinks she's a bad person. Why do you think she's a bad person? It said because you have to be perfect in order to be loved. That's fascinating. I never knew that. So you have to be perfect in order to be loved. How is that even humanly possible in a world where we're meant to make mistakes in order to grow and evolve?
Yeah, I think what I really started noticing about that myself with my relationship with my ex-boyfriend where I'm like, damn, I feel like I need to be perfect in order for this to work out. So
Interesting. Let's take a look at that. I like to talk to her ex-boyfriend, and I like to talk to the spirit that governs her ex-boyfriend's relationships. What was the energy in the relationship that caused a lot of problems? Spirit says it was a lot of neglect.
in both sides. So
What both sides? No, it was on his side.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's
Okay,
that's different.
I wanna dig a little deeper. I'd like to talk to the spirit in her ex-boyfriend that created that neglect. Why did you neglect her? That I felt like my friends were more important.
Oh, that's literally how I felt. I always kept telling him like, you always prioritize your friends over me. Like it's always them, 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 everybody else but me. That's literally how it was. And I always thought, am I wrong for that? Like, of course, they're her best friends, but it's like,
I'm curious about something as well. I might
mm,
just her spirit again, the one that got into that relationship. Why would you go into a relationship with someone who would prioritize someone before them? That's fascinating. It says because it brings back the father issues, which is the idea that if I work hard enough and prove myself to be worthy, then you'll see that I have value and therefore you'll choose me over your friends.
yep, yeah, that's just clocking me for real. Clocking it
You know,
all.
clock, and that's what I am. I'm a clocking shaman.
And I love it. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's this. I feel like that territory. I feel like it's like a part of me. It's like I knew it all along. It's like
That's
I always knew it.
it. I like to talk to the spirit that is aware of her relationships, of coming and goings, of what type of relationship she chooses and at what level of evolution it's being chosen at. Did she know these things? And what if she did, why did she choose to stay? It said, yes, you saw the imbalance. However, you made excuses because you thought that you could convince them to love you.
Yeah, definitely. And that territory, it's like I feel like right now I'm finally realizing like, girl, this is I
Let's
had too much hope,
like
you know?
scratch it. I like to talk to the part of her being that deals with the coming and goings of relationships in her life, the ones that see the higher developed relationships and the ones that sees the lower developed relationships. Has she learned the lesson of self-love and self-worth in order to attract someone of higher caliber? They said, no, you're still beating up on yourself.
Yeah, I still am. I think it's still like, you know, I just feel like I'm like seeing it, but a part of me is still like, girl, like you're still not like getting the full, like fully integrating.
I like to talk to the part of her being that's not getting this lesson and why you keep going in circles with this lesson. It says, because I'm angry, I want people to love me for me. And I feel like people always want me to be what they want in order to love me.
Yeah. And it's crazy because so many times, like when I've gone to talk to you, that's exactly what you would say every time it was that. Like I feel like, I'm always trying to meet the needs of other people, trying to make them love me, it's thinking to myself like if I did this, they would love me. If I acted this way, if I said it this way, if I was more calm and stuff, then
Interesting. I like to
everyone.
talk to yourself. Give me a second. I'd like to talk to our beloved's future self that is already in a loving and nurturing relationship, that is living that life that she claims to reach. What did you do that actually made it possible for you to attract that loving relationship where you are now in that dimension? It said, I stopped caring about meeting people where they are in their beliefs, and I started honoring who I am. So that way, if anyone showed up and didn't like me for who I am, I knew they weren't the right person. And so the right person was able to find me because they could see me honoring myself.
Yeah, I think it's also because like a part of me, like I don't really, but do
Let's
I?
a word instead of saying part of me, blah, 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 blah. And through the wisdom and knowledge that Shaman Durek is sharing with me,
Mhm. Through the wisdom that Shaman Durek is sharing with me.
the wisdom and knowledge
Oh, wisdom and knowledge, sorry.
that Shaman Durek is sharing with me,
That Shaman Durek is sharing with me.
I am opened up a part of my being
I am opening up a part of my being
that is already shifting and changing the dynamics of what I know about myself
that is shifting and changing the dynamics that I know about myself
and lifting the vibrational truth inside myself that I can feel right now.
and lifting the vibrational truth that I am.
Me,
What was that?
that's inside of me
That's inside of me
that I can feel right now.
that I can feel right now. Oh, wow. I feel like I feel like now I'm really starting to feel energy too, so I felt that right. Like before I was so like anxious.
Dynamics of my structures
The dynamics of my structures
that supported unworthiness
that supported unworthiness
is being dismantled,
is being dismantled.
and I'm acknowledging
And I'm acknowledging
part of my being
the part of my being
that is worthy,
that is worthy,
lives in worth,
lives in worth,
and has high opinions of itself,
and has high opinions of itself,
both through love
both through love
of self
of self
and expression.
and expression.
And I can feel it now.
And I can feel it now. I also feel like anxious right now. Like I feel that coming up right now as well. But oh my god, I feel really light. Like I feel like how do I say, like, complete? I don't.
Say, the energy that I'm feeling
The energy that I'm feeling
is multiplying
is multiplying
because I acknowledge the existence
because I acknowledge the existence
of the part of me that knows its worth
of the part of me that knows its worth
and sees itself of high value.
and sees itself of high value.
And I feel that
And I feel that
and think that
and think that
now.
now. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I feel more grounded. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I do. Wow. And yeah, I always tell myself, ground yourself. But that right there, I really do feel grounded.
I want to hear.
I know. Oh my goodness. Oh, but yeah, that was exactly what I need to hear, especially now.
And then say this, say, isn't it nice, the part of my being that knows its worth,
Isn't it nice, the part of my being that knows its worth,
that I'm acknowledging you now?
that I'm acknowledging you now? Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And oh my god, yeah, also that too, I was gonna say. Um, whenever like how you said before, whenever I do those practices where you say, just ask, like just say it and you're gonna get the answer. And it's like I hear like probably like one word and then I do like interrupt myself.
In the past, I heard one word
In the past, I heard one word
because I was afraid of the unknown
because I was afraid of the unknown
and being told what to do
and told what to do
instead of seeing it as spiritual instruction
instead of seeing it as spiritual instruction
to support my life in growing in beautiful ways.
to support my life in growing in beautiful ways.
I acknowledge
I acknowledge
the existence
the existence
of the beautiful being
of the beautiful being
that speaks to me in full sentences
that speaks to me in full sentences. I heard like hi. That's higher. Higher highs. Oh my goodness. Oh, I feel so excited to like now talk to that part of my being more as well. And hear those full sentences, no interruption, no nothing, you know? Exactly. Yes. Oh my god. Also, Shaman Durek, there's one question that I have to ask you because I've been really contemplating it and I feel like I want to understand it more. But so a question I have, I know God, he loves unconditionally, meaning
God,
that
in the original text in Aramaic, Jesus said that God is both female and masculine. So it's a mother, father, God. Let's go ahead.
okay.
Don't disrespect our mother.
Yes, of course. So our mother, father, God, loves us unconditionally, meaning we can choose whatever we want. Of course, right?
Yeah.
And I want to love people unconditionally as well. Um
No, you don't. And that's okay. For now,
uh-huh.
it's okay to not love unconditionally right in the beginning until it
Yeah.
becomes an authentic aspect of being. You have to your judgments first. You have to see the places where you are being triggered so that you can clear those triggers and get to a place of unconditional love. Forcing yourself to unconditional love, something does not make it real. It makes it like putting on the love and light.
Yes.
Like, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that you need to experience to get to the place of unconditional love. And that sometimes comes through judgment, sometimes comes through you being angry, sometimes comes from disappointment. And then you learn to feel those triggers and move them out of your system. And then you become lighter and capable of loving even more. Do you understand?
Yes, exactly. Because I'm always trying to tell myself, I gotta love like God. I gotta love like God. I gotta love like,
No, no, no.
or our mother's father God.
What you got to do is love where you are in your evolution and
Mhm.
ask to be taken to higher levels of that. And spirit will guide you through those higher levels.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you. Yeah, especially what you were saying to the other person that was on the slide felt like that really resonates because I'm always trying to say like, I have to be peace
No.
light, but
I
no.
have a friend. She was like, "Oh my God, I should be doing yoga, but I don't want to go today." I'm like, "Then don't go. You're not really serious about it. When you are really in body being a yogi, you'll do it. So stop forcing yourself to do something. Start looking at why you're not there yet. Start getting curious about why you're not there yet instead of beating up on yourself to be fit into a box that you were never meant to fit into.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I also feel like is I know that doing art makes me feel amazing. But whenever I think, "Oh, I should really do it," I don't feel like doing it, even though I know that.
And the part of her being that wants to do art but doesn't allow herself to do it. Why don't you do the art? It said, I'm scared that people will destroy what will make me happy and what will bring joy to me. And so that's why I create roadblocks in front of it.
Wow, that actually, yeah, I feel like that makes so much more sense. Because 'cause I'm always like, yeah, I don't like do those things. Cause also like I wanna show people, but then when I do, I feel like they're gonna question it. They're gonna be like,
You know what? There's some great. You ever heard of the artist Basquiat or Andy Warhol?
I
You know,
think so.
I'll tell you about Andy Warhol. Okay,
Mhm.
so Andy Warhol, people would see his pop art.
Mhm.
It would say things like, "It's a Campbell soup can. Like, who cares?" And like, oh, is that what makes you feel that way? Oh, great,
Mhm.
fantastic. You don't like it? Fantastic. You know why? Because and Basquiat did the same thing. People be like, "What is this?" And he'd be like, "Oh, this is like a bird, and it's like pooping, and it's like landing on this man who's laying on a wooden plank, and blah blah blah." And people were like, okay, that's weird." And he's like, "Yeah, it's weird, right? Right? Because why were those two so unique, and why did they actually love each other so much in their art? Is because they stopped making it about them and started realizing that all they're doing is creating what spirit tells them to create, and how people respond to it is how people respond to it.
Yes. If they have a negative feeling, you gotta
Great.
disrupt her. Yeah.
Yay. I'm glad to have a negative feeling, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Same thing.
definitely.
A friend who was doing an art exhibition in New York, and she finally got into one of his really big galleries. And so she does this painting where it's like these army guys and flowers and everything. And this one guy had like this beret, and his wife came. They were all wearing black. And I was there, and she was like, giving drinks to all her friends, including me. I don't drink, so I had apple juice. And she was like, super happy, having a great time. And then the couple was there, and you could hear the guy making comments, like literally loud enough for everyone to hear, who was in that vicinity. And she started getting really depressed and sad. And so I took her aside, and I was like, away from our group of friends. I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I worked so hard in this exhibition, and this person's over here like criticizing and putting down my work." And I was like, "So you made this for everyone to like it?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "No. Sometimes spirit has you make things that irritate people to wake them up. Sometimes spirit has you do things for people to jog them." I said, "Would you like me to ask the spirits why he's saying what he's saying?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Spirits, why is this man with the beret saying what he's saying about my friend's art?" And Spirit said, "It's because he was in the war, and he lost his friend in the war, his best friend who died. And when he looks at your art, he sees the army people, and then he sees flowers, and he doesn't think that flowers should be in the army picture. He's getting triggered right now from a pain that he never healed in himself, that he's still
Mhm.
that's being triggered right now to be healed. So spirit wanted him to see that art piece to trigger him to bring that up, and he's probably going to go home and start complaining about it. He's probably going to look at old memory pictures of his friend. This is healing him on some level. Even if it makes someone negative, healing takes place in negativity as well. And so
Yeah.
oh, I had no idea. I'm like, well, now you do. So stop making art for people and just make art for you and let people have their own experiences. Okay?
Yes. Oh my God, that changes my whole perspective on negative feelings and, well, yeah, that we deem it as like negative and stuff, but
Babe, I went to an art exhibition once in London and I saw this piece of art and it made me sick to my stomach. Okay? Like sick to my stomach. And so my friend goes, if it makes you so sick to your stomach, Jerk, why are you still sitting here? I'm like, because I'm curious to why it's making me sick. I'm curious to what is actually happening internally in my body that's actually making me sick. So I'm wanting art is triggering the crap out of me. I want to know why and I want to get to the bottom of it. And I did. And it opened up all this energy in my being, right?
yes. And how we get to it is asking ourselves, right? Or asking the parts of our beings that feel that way.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I understand so much more now.
Yay. Okay. It was time for us to go.
Yes. I love you. I love you so much. I'm so grateful to have you on this planet and to live, have to have you part of my life. I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Shaman Durek.
Arnavite, it's one's pleasure to serve you. Love you.
Yes. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yay, how beautiful. Boy. As you know, I would love to stay here and do more. I can maybe ask a couple questions to people, but I can't go live anymore because I have to get ready because I have a very important dinner tonight with a very important person in a very important way. So that being said, if someone has a question, please type it up on the screen. Thank you, Shaman Durek. Love from the Caribbean islands. You're thank you. I love you from Norway to the Caribbean islands. Can I get my question answered, please? What question is that? Please ask quickly. Love you, Shaman Durek. Thank you. I love you too, darlings. Thank you for the gift today. Oh, I love you, sweethearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, we can send love to Iran. I love my brothers and sisters in Iran. So let's focus our energy in sending love to Iran. And I just ask now that the spirits and the divine healing spirits and the spirits that move conflict and the spirits that shift energies and the spirits that talk into the ears of people who need to be spoken to in order to clear conflict energies or anything that is causing disruption begin to support Iran and open up the energies and the love and the divine and the truth be seen through illusion and confusion and all energies of destruction, chaos, and any fear-based energies. I ask this now in full embodiment as the divine, as the will of God, and so be it, and so be it, and so be it. Okay. What was the question? Do my spirit guides have something to say to me? No, I'd rather you ask me a question. That's a long thing. Spirit guides have a lot. And if you haven't been listening to your spirit guides, the spirit guides will have a lot to say to you. How can I improve my hair loss? Spirit who's beloved is asked, how can they improve? I like to talk to the spirit that is actually causing the hair loss. Why are you causing the hair loss? It's a hormonal imbalance, spirit says, and it's being caused by something your body is being affected by, a chemical or something your body is taking in that, and you need to go and get a blood work test done to look at how your body is responding to certain types of hormones and chemicals, so that you can see what it is that's actually causing it. I'm looking for clarity on where I'm giving my path, and can you answer that? Looking at what was that question? I am looking. No, where is it? I'm looking for clarity on where I am going in my path. Can you? That's a long question. I need more quicker questions. That's a whole, where you're going in your path. I mean, that could be like a whole thing we have to go through. You should probably book a session because that's a long time or come into another life. Let's see. How best support my son who has autism? I like to speak to the spirits. I like to talk to the son of the person who asked about autism. I'd like to talk to the spirit that's causing the autism. How can she best support her son in autism? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. The spirit says that you need to be more childlike, spin around, play, be a kid yourself, play some musical instruments. Mostly they were showing drumming, get into doing art without there being a reason, expressing yourself through drawing like blue on something without having it to be anything other than just you making things of blue. This is going to be supportive to your kid with autism. How do we stop ice? You let ice, you don't stop ice. You let the universe play out what it needs to play out, and love the people who have chosen to be a part of it. Because that is how things, and you don't know the bigger picture of why spirit has this happening. And that could be to make people more aware of their prejudices or racial issues or different things. And if you don't have a direct way into communicating with the people who are creating it, then you can do things on the outside, such as bring attention to it. You can do things that bring art to it. You can like do things that help people to see why this is an imbalance on the planet. How can I fall pregnant at age 44? Spirit, I'd like to talk to the spirit of her being in that deals with pregnancy, deals with bringing life through other dimensions. Is there a possibility for her to create life at age 44? There is a possibility, yes, if her eggs are still producing. They said that you have to make sure your body is clear, but it shows that your body isn't as clear as it should be because you have a lot of inflammation in your upper abdominal area. This has caused restrictions within your elimination system, which would be your large small intestines, and complications within the way that you are taking energy in does not make your body a vessel that would be fruitful in bringing life through. It's not that it's not possible, but you do have to clean up a little bit. How can I have a transformational, powerful year in business? Spirit that deals with that question of the person who wrote that. I'd like to talk to the aspect of the spirit that makes business and opportunities be flourished. What is it that they did? What is it that they have to do in order to flourish and be really successful in business? Spirit says you have to be very clear on the structure and how you put the structure together, not to cut any corners, but to really plan things out from a perspective of how you invite people into things in your communication and in the way you're expressing your company, your business, the way you want people to see it is what connects. Also, not operating from a place of slave mentality, which is I have to do this, I have to do this, but make it fun. If you're not making it fun, your spirit will not be able to expand more wealth and prosperity for you. And spirit also says that you need to find someone who does the things you don't want to do instead of doing everything and knowing that you don't really want to do it. Okay. All right, my darlings, I have to go meet my wife now. We have a very important dinner to head to. But I just want to let you know if you want, you can book sessions with me. You can also come into other lives. And know that I'm here for you. I will be posting this up right now. If you missed any part of this live, you should go back and watch it or share it with your friends if you want to see them gain from the love and the wisdom and the clarity that was spending more time with you in the live. Thank you so much. And remember how powerful you are and how divine you are. Mwah. Amala Ashe. Bye.